My name is Wafaa Boumalek. The topic talks about teaching writing. My partner is Layla Idokti, supervised by Dr. Yusuf Tamir. I'm going to talk about the first part of our research paper. Firstly, I will start by introduction. Secondly, I will talk about the definition of TOEFL. Finally, all present purposes of teaching writing. Writing a non-native language is a productive skill which represents the outcome of how much and how accurately has been learned of that language. That's why this skill must be taught through systematic and well-organized stages in any else context. Classroom related to this fact, teaching writing English as a foreign language is usually done via different types of writing and a variety of methods and techniques to enable learners to come up with an appropriate piece of writing. The main purpose of this paper is to focus on how writing English as a foreign language come to be taught. It is also aims at showing the techniques that help learners to write and finally the stages through which the learners should go before eventually getting at a coherent and accurate writing text. Definition of TOEFL. Nowadays, different motivation for learning English come to play, especially that it comes to be the language of globalization, international communication, commerce and trade, the media and pop culture. According to British Council, at least 1 billion people across the world speak English or are trying to speak English at the present time, and of those about 300 million people are actively studying the English language, TOEFL, TESOL, yet teaching English abroad. This statistic help us to recognize the TOEFL field and put us in front of several questions, including what is TOEFL, what are the aims of TOEFL, why TOEFL in the first place. According to the above, obviously, the acronym TOEFL is generally referring to a world of English teaching, where teachers may or may not necessarily be native speakers of English. Yet, students are of other speaking language at the present time. The demand for learning English has not been higher. As a result, TOEFL exists in about every country worldwide where English is the first language, for example, Australia, Canada. Now, I'll present the meaning of different definition. TOEFL is generally referring to a world of English teaching where teachers may or may not necessarily be native speakers of English, yet students are of other speaking language at the present time. The demand for learning English has not been higher. As a result, TOEFL exists in about every country worldwide where English is not the first language, China, Morocco, as well as in countries where English is the first language, for example, Australia, Canada. On one hand, teaching English as a foreign language is crystal clear related to English teaching, rather than its learning. On the other hand, English learners are not specifically children all ages and levels, from totally beginners to fluent learners. As a result, different massive methods, techniques, pedagogies have been taken place developed to TEFL's history, which are directed toward student teaching and trainers, people who are learning how to teach. TEFL, teaching English as a foreign language. This term mostly used when English is being taught in a country where it is not the native language. For example, teaching English to Arabic Amazigh people in Morocco. TESL, teaching English as a second language. Second language. This acronym refers specifically to English being taught to non-native speakers of English in a country where it is the native language. For example, teaching immigrants to the United Kingdom, United States of America. TESL, teaching English to speakers of other language, and this term theoretically refers to both of the above. ELT, this stands for English language teaching and is mainly used by institutions in the United Kingdom. ASP, English for specific purposes. There is a growing demand for this term, which refers to teachers who specialize in teaching in areas such as business, tourism, medicine. EAP, English for academic purposes, for example, British Council, government-funded courses for foreign students who would like to study the English medium institution in their own countries. At the end, I will focus on the purposes of teaching writing. There have been 6 categories of purposes of writing. The first one is writing for reinforcement. It means to make students write in order to reinforce the grammatical rules they have learned. It serves to drill language forms and reinforce students' understanding that as authors they are expected to demonstrate accuracy to the teacher who acts only as a judge. The second category is writing for training. At this level, students deal with patterns that are longer than the sentence. They are asked to write paragraphs out of sentence transformation or sentence combining. It also leads to the same idea of accuracy. Students are not concerned with the underlying discourse instead. The third type is writing for imitation. The purpose here is to make students, non-native speakers, familiar with the target languages, theories, and syntax, which obviously differs from their mother tongue. The fourth type is writing for communication, and it generated generally from the attempt to make language teaching more communicative. For instance, they ask you to write a letter to friend. The task doesn't lead to the aim because the context and the situation are not realistic. The fifth category is writing for fluency. Is writing for fluency. Teachers who are interested in this type of writing consider it as a means to discover idea. At the last category of writing is writing for learning. It combines the five previous ones and not only include them, but it can replace them as well. For this reason, writing should be seen as a learning process, not simply a skill taught last and on phases list. After that presentation, I would like to express gratitude to you, teacher, for your help and for giving us courage. Thank you.